Tonight is Motzei Shabbos Hagadol, which is the coming out of the Shabbos before Pesach. So by the drusha, there's always a drusha by Shabbos Hagadol, where the members of the congregation are explained different halachas and different minhagim about the Seder. What I want to focus on is the Parzufim, the union of the Parzufim and the Spheres, as these forces are rebuilt, because Pesach is creating the template. It's like creating the DNA for redemption, which each individual, through their participation in the Seder, is laying down the DNA code for the destiny for the coming year, in particular in terms of going out of Mitzrayim. Going out of Mitzrayim is originally it was a historical occurrence, but Chassidus explains that we look at it metaphorically. Metaphorically means that a person is going out of their constraints. And now, as the Rabbi says, that we are in the last generation of Galus and the first generation of Geula. So the question is, how can we be living in two time zones simultaneously? In fact, the Rebbe said this perhaps 30 or 40 years ago. So people who were little kids then are now grown up and they have children of their own, they may have grandchildren of their own. And the question is, what is the first generation of Geula? They heard it when they were children. Now they're grown men, and they don't see that there is Geula. The way that Chassidus, and one sees this in the Mamorim of the Rebbe Rashab, where it says in Parshas V'Eira, where it says in Vitzalti Begealti V'Lekachti the Dalet L'Shreines. There's four descriptions of Geula. There's four levels of Geula. And the Geula means that within the structure of our own personality, within the psyche, that there are four components that require further illumination, further expansion. So in order to experience an expansion of consciousness is automatically going to take the person out of their Mitzrayim. So at the lowest level, a person's Mitzrayim is just being caught up in the narrative of their existence, so that they eat and they drink and they go to work and they do all of the things that they have to do to sustain themselves, but they become trapped in the routine of survival, and it's very hard to experience expanded state of consciousness when a person only sees the limits of their own personal narrative. Once we talk about expansion of consciousness, we look in Kabbalah, and The Baal Shem Tov spoke about the difference between Moichen the Godless and Moichen the Katnas. Moichen the Godless literally means expanded consciousness, and Moichen the Katnas is constricted consciousness. So Mitzrayim is also the letters for Meitzer Mi. Meitzer Mi, Meitzer is something that constrains, and Mi, according to Kabbalah, if you use the gematria, Mi is Mem and Yud, which is Nun. Nun is the Nun Share Bina. Nun Share Bina means that the constriction is occurring at the level of Bina. Now, if one looks at the Seder, what one is doing is one is creating an expanded state of consciousness by tapping into very high, powerful forces. That those forces were created at the time of the original Exodus, but they recur. They come back and they return, and one can personally tap into these very powerful archetypes. And the ultimate goal is to expand one's level of consciousness from Moichen to Katnas to Moichen to Godless. What do these terms mean? Moichen to Katnas and Moichen to Godless. Well, to start off, all the steps in the Seder, starting with Kiddush and drinking the 4 cups of wine and having saying the Haggadah on the Lechem Ani and eating the matzah, and then afterwards having the Afikomen. Each of those are part of the total structure of Yud Kei Vav Kei. In this case, Kiddush would be Yud, Kadesh, Chachma, separate yourself, sanctify yourself. That's the level of Truma. That's the level of the firstborn. Reishis Chachma. Chachma is the first of all the spheres. Chachma is symbolized